Are you a fintech company that wants to become a market leader? If so, you need to be very careful about your priorities. You see, it turns out that there are just two key differences between market leaders and laggers in fintech. This is not just my opinion, it's a careful research done by one of the top consultant companies in the world, Deloitte. Do you care to know what those differences are and how they are going to affect your business? Stick around, we are going to cover that. So Deloitte's research was done on a couple of hundred financial institutions, and they found two key factors that help leaders to stay at the top of the game. First one is digitalization. How much of your business is happening online? It turns out that for leaders, this figure stands at 60% minimum. For the most of the companies that are not doing so well, less than half of their work is done online. So what about your company? Are you doing a lot of things in the internet, or are you still doing things the old way? Are there any processes in your company that can be done more reliable or cost-effective by digitalization? And most importantly, how well do you know your clients? Take a look at Facebook, for example. They know everything about you. How much you earn, where did you go to school, who your colleagues are, whom you were married to, do you have a cat, do you have a dog, how many children do you have? It's crazy. It's really crazy. Insane. But you know what? They are right. Because data is a king. If you have enough of a data about your clients, and if you have a proper technology that allows you to analyze this data, then you can make smart, real-time, data-driven decisions. And that would attract more money to your business. This is one of the key differences between the leaders and the laggers. So keep in mind, most of successful fintech companies are doing at least 60% of their business online. They collect a lot of data about their customers, and they know what to do with this data. So the second factor that differentiates leaders from everyone else is the speed and the frequency of adding new features to their applications. This is a so-called time to market. Did you know that half of the leaders are doing daily changes to their production environment? In contrast, only 8% of laggers are doing the same. This is quite a big difference, isn't it? The other half of leaders is releasing either on weekly or on bi-weekly basis. This means that if your company is not releasing at least once per 2 weeks, I'm sorry to say that, but you're a lagger. The stats on this is very clear. Take your time and reflect the situation in your company. What your time to market is? How frequently are you doing releases? Did you know that Netflix is doing a couple of thousand changes to their production environment on daily basis? Are you doing at least one per week? When talking to different fintech businesses about the importance of the release frequency, I often hear the same thing over and over again. It sounds like this. Yes, we would like to release more frequently, but we cannot afford it because we care too much about the quality. Now, this is one of the most harmful considerations I have ever heard. Think about this. It assumes that you can have either quality or release frequency. I would argue that current customers are unforgiving. They want to have as many working features as soon as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, let's face it, if you don't have quality and release frequency, your customers are going to run away from you to your competitors. And they would be right. At INK, we think that you can have your cake and eat it too. We think that quality and release frequency goes hand in hand, and it's possible if you have proper IT processes, good professionals in your team, and solid engineering culture. So at this point you might be confused and wondering, how can I add more features to my application quickly and at the same time make sure that everything is functioning smoothly and nothing is broken? This is a great question. At INK, we have one golden rule that allows us to do just that. In fact, I sincerely believe that if you are going to adopt this rule in your company, it will change the way you think about software development once and forever. Now, here's a rule. if you have a problem, don't just fix the problem and move on. Take your time and make sure that you fix it in such a way that you will never face this problem in the future for the current project and for all the other projects you are going to work on. Imagine this. You added something to your application, you promote the artifact to QA environment from dev, and you found out that there are some difference between the dev database and QA database. Now, because of this, QAs can test, the application is not working, there are some heated discussions, people are becoming angry, total chaos. 30 minutes into investigation, you find out that one of the person didn't apply one of 10 migrations to the database, and this is causing the problem. Now, this is a human error. It happens sometimes. Quite normal, right? So we just fix a problem and move on, correct? Not in our company. We don't just fix problems, we make sure they never happen again. Why would we waste time figuring out what the problem is and how to fix it? Why risk making the same problem over and over again? Instead, we are going to sit and brainstorm. Okay, it seems like we need some kind of automated tool that does database migrations across environment in repeatable, reliable manner without human involvement. Then we are going to go to the market to see if there is any kind of solution that does it already. We are going to do our research and we will see that yes, there is Flyway, there is Liquidbase. After that, we'll get a bit deeper into technology to make sure it does what it's supposed to do. We'll do a couple of POCs, and if those are successful, we are going to adopt this technology as a company standard for this project where the problem was found and for all the subsequent projects. Now the problem is solved once and forever. Now let's take a look at the quality versus release frequency dilemma in context of this problem. Did we increase quality? Yes, obviously, the problem with database migration is fixed. Did we increase release frequency? Yes as well, because the problem is fixed once and forever. It means that we are not going to spend time on this anymore, and this time can be used on solving actual business challenges, and therefore improving the frequency of releases. Now, thinking about it in this way, there's no actual dilemma between quality and release frequency. They go hand in hand, and you can have both at the same time. Here you can object. You can say, well, yes, it all makes sense, except that you spend a lot of time doing the analysis and implementing the solution. That actually took time from the delivery, and therefore release frequency goes down, not up. To a certain extent, you're right. What I'm proposing is not a shortcut, it's not a short-term solution, and it wouldn't happen overnight. This is more of a long-term strategy. Unfortunately, there is no magic pill. If you face a problem and you want to solve it permanently, then it can be somewhat time-consuming. However, I would argue that facing the same issue over and over again and fixing it, forgetting about this, then it coming back, you fixing it again, is more time-consuming. Not even talking about the frustration it causes. This is why it's so important to start adopting this approach as soon as possible. Take a look at my company, for example. We operate on the market for over a decade. For this time, we have around 100 of automated checks and metrics that detect the mistakes that we have done in the past and don't allow us to make them in the future. We built our knowledge based on the mistakes that we did in the past, and now all the new projects can benefit from this. And the best part? This is fully automated. Developers don't even have to be aware about this. If someone wants to commit a mistake that, of course, he or she is not aware of, the system is going to recognize it and notify a person and ask the person to fix it. Therefore, in that way, we are able to build reliable software and ship it fast. So let's summarize. In this video, we covered the crucial points that make fintech companies successful. According to Deloitte, these are two main factors: the percentage of business that the company has online and the frequency of releases. The more the better for both cases. If you would like to increase the frequency of your releases, you don't need to sacrifice the quality. In fact, quality and frequency go hand in hand. You just need to adopt proper engineering practices. It's a complicated topic, has a lot of factors, but in my opinion, the key to this is actually making sure that you're not repeating the same mistakes over and over, and you have automated checks to detect this. Thank you very much for watching this video. Click like and subscribe button and let me know what you think in the comments. See you soon.